Now we're approaching the big final of Avatar The Last Airbender with episode 7, Legend. My name's Andreas.
Rajat,
Let's do that.
let's do that. All right. So the episode starts with Ankh, Tara, and Sokka trying to, fight a Fire Nation ship. They took it pretty nicely. They destroyed it, and they thought they won it literally. And then they noticed that there are thousands and thousands of ships behind that one, which is approaching the northern tribe. And that's when the actual battle begins. And I would say, these Fire Nation people has quite a big arsenal, good firepower,
Mhm.
literally, to fight
Yeah,
against the
pun
northern tribe.
intended, right?
Yeah. So it was pretty nice, I would say, how the scene was, filmed, how they showed. I don't know, there were like at least 10,000 ships, if I'm not wrong.
I don't know if it were that many, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
there were a lot of ships. At least too many ships for Aang to take them all off on his own. And so they basically decide, okay, we cannot fight them here, so we go back to the uh, behind the wall and then try to fight from there.
Hmm.
And yeah, so yeah, and Suko, who has survived this attack on him, is sneaking into the city somehow. There's always some
He always tried
secret
to sneak.
passage
He's a sneaker.
to
Yeah.
get into some places where nobody should be allowed to get in. But Suko
Yeah.
always manages to find a way anyways. Wasn't it the same in Omashu?
Correct.
He was disguised as a soldier, and so he got into that.
That's the
Now
thing.
he's also he's disguised. I guess yeah, he's also disguised again. Yeah, and
Because I guess, like if he'll go like bareface, everyone would recognize him and the scar that he has. So
yeah, that might be the reason. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And he's like a solo man, He's not really bringing his troop with him. He's mostly trying to do everything by himself. So I guess
yeah,
being in disguise is what makes sense.
yeah, and he's still after the Avatar. That's his only goal. He's focused. I don't care about what's going on around me. I want to have the Avatar. That's my goal, and that's what
Yes.
I'm going for. So yeah, but on the other hand, on the main ship, I guess it was the main ship where Admiral Sao and Iro
Hmm.
are. Iro gives Sao military advice. He shouldn't put all his soldiers in one place, but then Sao reveals his evil plan. He says, "Yeah, wait, yeah, I found this knife back in Roku's Avatar temple,
Hmm.
which formerly belonged to Avatar Kuruk. And this knife has a special ability to kill the moon spirit, which empowers the water benders.
Hmm.
And so his plan is to kill the moon spirit because they manifest in some living organism somewhere, and he has acquired the technology to go through the air with an air balloon. I
Yes.
wonder where he got this from.
Yeah, I guess we
So
were
yeah,
introduced to an engineer, I think the Omashu episode. And I think Sokka partially worked on that thing as well.
so they take this air balloon to fly to this oasis to kill a koi fish, because that's then will kill the ice moon, and then the waterbenders will lose all their abilities, and the Fire Nation will win without any problem.
Hmm.
But Iro warns Sao, "Don't do that. You don't know what you're doing. No? This is bad. This could have consequences you do not want to have."
Hmm.
So yeah, but he's doing it anyways, because he's Sao. What can I say?
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, and while the battle is going on, so the Fire Nation is trying to ram the city walls with big
Correct.
ships or something like that, firing from all cylinders.
I guess that was
Uh,
like some kind of a diversion from their actual plan of getting that flying ship into
yeah, they
that main
sneaked.
area and kill
It's more
us.
like yeah, it's more like a assassination attack from the back, so
Yep.
sneaky, and on the front they are just distracting everybody. Hey, don't look here,
Hmm.
nothing going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they should immediately notice this air balloon and say, "This air balloon, what is it
Yeah.
doing up there?" But anyways, they don't. So, but yeah, that's a little bit of a plot mistake, but whatever. So yeah, but during this whole battle in the city, our little friend Momo is his name. This little
Yeah.
guy with his,
Cute
does he
guy.
have? Does he use his ears as wings? I guess he uses his ears as wings, but I don't know.
I don't remember really, but I
Yeah,
think
but
I think
but
he does.
anyways, he tries to save a child from a falling part of a
Yeah.
wall or something,
And
and gets injured himself by doing that. And we all, oh, no, not Momo! Don't
yeah,
kill
yeah,
Momo! And Sokka and you are noticing it. Oh my God, Momo! Something happened to Momo! And you immediately said, "Hey, I can help him. I know a place in our oasis, as they call it. I can bring him there. There is a little lake that has healing powers of the moon spirit, and I will bring him there, and then he will live." And then so they go down to this little pond, and she puts Momo into the water, and Momo, yeah, jumps out of and everybody's happy. Yeah, he's alive. Yeah. So everything turns out to be good. And then Zhao arrives at the oasis using the knife of Avatar Kuruk, despite Iroh warning him not to do it. He kills
he
the
just
Koid.
doesn't listen. Yeah.
And immediately the moon starts to darken, and every waterbender
Lost their abilities. Yes.
doesn't work anymore.
Doesn't work. I mean, it's like the big power switch turned off. That's
Yeah,
weird,
right.
no?
Yeah, yeah. Somebody took their powers away. And I was like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
like
right.
I don't know. Do firebenders also have some switch like that? Maybe if somebody takes down the sun, I don't know, their
Yeah,
firebending
or
skill
this
goes
or
away.
this comet that's coming. I
No,
don't
but
know.
that comet is supposed to be giving them more power, not take it away.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but if the comet is completely gone, yeah, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway, so what
that's a
happens
weird
then?
thing.
What happens then after Zhao kills the fish?
Well, as soon as that happens, our waterbending friends, the Northern Tribe people, they magically lost all their powers, abilities to, bend the water. And when that happened, the Fire Nation army took over, and they just burst into the city, killing people, taking over the city completely. And that's when Iroh is trying to fight with Zhao's soldiers, help Zuko in the process, and Aang, our the Avatar, our main guy, he realizes that it is really important to defend this city and defend the people. So he merges himself in this mighty Avatar, the giant fish, I would call it, and um, I think somehow he
It looked more like a Godzilla character, a Godzilla
kind of a
creature,
Godzilla, but in the water, yeah, just like a fish.
a water Godzilla.
Yeah, or maybe a dolphin. I don't know. It wasn't a dolphin.
No,
It
it
was some
looked more
fish.
like a Godzilla.
Okay,
He had
but yeah,
arms and
it looks like a
wow.
some giant fish that can fly as well eventually. So yeah, he destroyed all the ships of the
Yeah,
Fire Nation.
before he did that, Aang told everybody if he's doing that, merging with the ocean spirit, that's it for him. He will not
That's it for
return.
him. Yes, it's true, true. I mean, people and his friends basically try to stop him, and
Yeah.
he was like, "No, this is more important than his own life, and he has to do this thing." And he did that, and obviously, turning into that beast, did save, Northern Tribe people. He was able to defeat all the ships and everything. And when that happened, I mean, we had another scene where Zuko was trying to not trying, but was having a fight with General Zhao. You know, that was like a duel that they had, and Zuko eventually defeated General Zhao. And General Zhao, while I don't think he's dead, you think he's dead,
No,
but
at this point he's not dead. So
yeah,
yeah, because
but
he's
I think
telling
yeah. So
Zuko a
he
story
ended up,
about Azula.
yeah, he ended up telling him about his sister, that she's the mastermind behind everything. And I know, General, not General, basically Ozai has put her to it, to this task. And I think that must have hurt Zuko's feelings, and everything that has been working for all along, that his family, own sister, is working against him right now. So yeah, and then we see a scene where seems like General Zhao is dead.
No, no,
Seems like, I don't know, maybe because people like him, and bad guy usually they don't die easily.
no. Nobody likes
So that's what I
Sao.
believe.
No,
And no,
nobody,
we
no,
might see him in the
nobody,
next season.
nobody likes Sao, and he is killed by
Yeah, but
Iroh.
that's how the story would unveil. I think he's still a good character in a way, that good villain or a good
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
guy. Good bad
He's a
guy, not
little
a good
bit.
villain, but a good bad guy. Like when you really really hate a villainous character, then I think they've done a good job.
Yeah, well,
So
the best villain to hate that I remember was King Joffrey in Game of
oh
Thrones.
yes, I see. I'm not saying, see, this Avatar is no comparison of Game of Thrones in any way, in terms of story
So,
and everything.
so in a fight, Joffrey
Of
against
course,
Sao,
any day,
Joffrey wins every
any day,
time.
any day, any day. Yeah, even in my sleep, I would pick Joffrey. Joffrey was I would say, the one that boils your blood, makes you like punch the screen right
Yeah,
now, and
yeah, and the payoff, huh? When
yeah,
Sao was killed, I said, ah, yeah, nice. When
yeah.
Joffrey was killed, spoilers if you haven't seen Game of Thrones. When
Come on,
Joffrey
yes,
was
it's
killed,
been.
I was cheering, I was jumping up in my on my couch and said, yes, finally, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, we're not talking about Game of Thrones now, but I mean, the way the Game of Thrones series, at least up until the last season, I would say, if you exclude the last season specifically, they've done a good job killing people and keeping it as a surprise. You just don't know when it's going to happen. So
Mhm.
it just takes you by surprise, and you're like, wow. So yeah, I agree. Joffrey is a better villain than General Zhao. But yeah, I mean, just comparing, I'm seeing this guy. We also don't like him. He's better dead.
Yes,
Um, so yeah, I mean, that's what happened then. And I think at the end we saw Katara pleading Aang to come back. Because she needs him. Eventually, and they need to do a lot of things together. And I would say, after everything was over, Aang decides basically that he should finally master all three elements,
but
and
before
not just
that,
rely on his airbending skills.
but before that, we learned that you has the ability to save the moon.
Oh, that's true,
Because
that's true, that's
yeah,
true. Yeah, yeah, correct, correct.
because as we have learned in the last episode, she has part of the moon spirit in her because she was saved when she was injured, and so now she decides to give back her part of the moon spirit so the moon can live again, and so
Reinstate,
she
yeah, yeah.
sacrifices her own life, and before she can do that she has to stop Sokka because Sokka tries to stop her. No, don't kill yourself because that would mean you're going to be uh, sacrificing yourself. And of course, Sokka, since he has a love interest in you, doesn't want that. So she freezes him because for some reason she still has water bending skills, probably because she has the moon spirit in her. And then she basically gives back the moon spirit, her life, to the koi, and the koi then again lives again, and the moon returns. And with that, everything's fine again. Waterbenders have their skills. Not much to defeat anymore because Aang and the Ocean Spirit have done all the hard work already. So yeah, finally they take away the victory and defeat the Fire Nation's army. Finally, yeah. And then what happens next?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I noticed, I think you also must have noticed. I don't know if they mentioned it, but the two fish that we had in their oasis, that were like the symbolism of their
Yin and
moon
Yang,
power and moon spirit. Huh?
Yin and Yang. Those
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
black and the
Did
white
they?
fish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did they mention it already in the
What do you
show?
mean mention?
Like, did they actually mention it that it was like a yin and yang thing or whatever?
They implied it by
Yeah.
showing the
But I
two
mean,
fish swimming around. So but
yeah. I
basically,
mean,
that's the moon spirit and the ocean spirit. Right? Those are the two. The
yeah.
black one was the ocean spirit, and the white one was the moon spirit. I guess
Yep,
that's
yep,
that's
yep.
probably the idea.
Yeah. So I think yeah, that was like a nice symbolism there, like having two fish, like a cycle of energy or whatever, they want to call it. I think because yin and yang in a way represents that, that kind of a thing, at least in Chinese mythology or something, or their
Yeah.
cultures. So I mean that was pretty nice, I would say. And yeah, I think towards the end, we see that again, like I said, I mean, Ang decides to master all the three elements, not just rely upon his airbending skills. And at the end, we see finally, that this whole attack on the northern tribe was part of a bigger plan of Osai. So he has basically put Asula on a task that, okay, we're gonna attack the northern tribe, but that would just be a diversion from a bigger plan. So they wanted to capture what's the name? Umashu. They wanted to capture, and that's what they did. Oh my god. Okay, you have not heard anything that I said. We can do redo.
No, no. If you continue talking until now, it would be fine. I was sitting there.
Okay. Oh, we can do. We can redo. We can redo. All
Anyways,
right.
the episode is over. So basically, the moral of the story, the end is we learn that. So we learned that Ozai and Azula didn't really want to invade the water tribe. They did it just as a distraction, but their actual goal was Umashu. And
Yep.
so in the final scene, we see Azula taking hostage King Bumi, a good
Hmm.
friend of Aang. So we see him, yeah, he's kneeling down before Azula, and that's where everything ends. That's basically the cliffhanger for the next season.
Hmm. True.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's
So
how
let's
the
uh,
season one ended.
let's take an overall look at the whole season,
Yep.
the finish. What do you think?
Um, I would say overall I enjoyed it. I would put my I think overall it was positive for me. The experience of watching the show for the first time. I mean, I was not really aware of this Avatar story. I never really watched the cartoon.
Right.
So
Me
I think
neither.
it was new, something new that I watched, and overall it was positive. I mean, I think the episode fourth and fifth, I think specifically, I did not enjoy much.
Yeah, there was some
And
repetitions,
yeah,
lengthy things like the
yeah,
the whole Spirit World episode was a little bit boring,
yep, yep.
but the payoff was okay at the end.
Okay.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's very predictable, but looking at the fact that it's more like a kids oriented show, it's yeah,
True.
that's
I don't
fine.
know. Maybe if the original Avatar had some twists and turns, who knows? But I mean, this show was quite predictable from the kind of plot they've created.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, mostly I would call it a positive show, something that one can watch for sure. I mean, it won't be
definitely.
like they're wasting their time. So I would definitely recommend to watch it.
Nita,
Uh, But yeah, I mean, if I have to talk about some criticism of this particular show, I would say repetitism. You know, the repetition basically, not repetitism. Repetition is something that I quietly, heavily noticed there, and some of the things that I mentioned about Ang, I think maybe it's just my personal preference or my personal perspective about him that I did not really enjoy his character altogether. My favorite character in this whole show was Zuko.
my favorite
We had
character is Io.
Hero. Okay, yeah. I mean, for me, Zuko, like I said, I mean, I explained other episodes as well. I think his character has an arc, something
Yes,
interesting. He's going through a journey. Iroh is good guy. Ang is a good guy. We know that already.
Sokka, the
I'm
womanizer.
womanizer. So it's everyone knows, and Zuko is the only one who's fighting with his inner self. He's I think inherently a good person, but he just wants to be, or at least portray himself as a bad guy. Because he's the son of a villain. I don't know, whatever. He and his has to capture Ang or whatever. So he's just fighting with himself, and that's why I think he's a very very interesting character,
Yeah,
and that's why he's my favorite, I would say. But yeah,
yep.
I mean, few things I didn't like about Ang, the way he delivers stuff. I mean, as an actor as well, I would say. But
Oh, the
overall,
actor
his
is great.
character. I mean, actor is great, but sometimes I don't know. I felt in some instance I'm like, okay, maybe he's just a child.
In
Obviously,
in general, the actors are pretty good, except maybe I don't know. Sokka is it's okay.
Ahsoka is okay. Yeah, I mean, I would swap him with any actor.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the character of Katara also, she has a
She's
great
nice. She's nice.
development. Yeah, she's
Mhm.
keep on learning more and more and getting more important for the cause, So yeah, it's nice to see how she progresses.
Mhm.
And although we don't really focus too much on that, uh, the it seems to me that the story focused more on Suku than on Aang and Katara and Sokka. Because we learn a lot about Suko in all
Mhm.
details, all the backstories with the
True.
41st Division and everything, and his sister and his father. So we learn a lot about him, but we don't learn nothing about Aang. Only in the first episode we learn a little bit with his relationship with Gyatso and stuff like that. But other than that, who's his? Does he have parents? And if not, what happened to his parents? What's the
Yep.
backstory of Aang? We don't learn anything about Aang. So that's basically
Yeah.
the show runners basically focus on the story of Suko because they think that's the more interesting story. And maybe they're
Mhm.
right, but that's why you love the story arc of Suko so much because the show actually focuses on that very much.
True. True. I mean, it could be. Yeah. I mean, and they're not, like you said, they're not really touched upon this fact that about his previous, I mean, life, beyond, or his avatar thing.
Yeah.
So how he was previously, was he like born as an avatar or whatever, and
I
how
guess
people
I guess
discovered
every
that he was
avatar
an
is born this way, so that with the
I don't know, like how
birth
people
it's
first of all
already
discover,
decided.
or because there are so many babies that get born in the world,
Yeah,
but how
yeah,
do you
it's.
differentiate that that's an avatar?
I mean, I guess this story is taken from the story of the Dalai Lama. They have
Really?
this kind of you know Dalai Lama from
Yeah, I
the
know, I know. Yeah.
what's this? Is it a religion?
He's a Tibetan
Tip, yeah,
monk, guru, you can call him,
yeah, yeah,
and
and
he
there's only one. What's his title?
uh
Does he have a title or something?
I think that he's called Dalai Lama
The
only.
Dalai
I
Lama, yeah,
don't. The
that's his
monk.
title, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the Dalai Lama, that's the title. And there's
Yeah.
always one Dalai Lama, and it's always by birth. So I guess for the Avatar story, they took that story from the Dalai Lama, and that's basically the Avatar. The Avatar is basically the Dalai Lama of this world.
Hmm.
So
And
that's
yeah,
their
I
inspiration,
mean,
I guess.
true. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I guess it could be an interesting story. I mean, if they somehow show it in the next season, like who were his parents and how he's like an orphan. Maybe they gave him birth. Maybe his
Yeah,
mother died or whatever.
yeah. So for the next season, we have a lot of opportunities for this kind of backstories. Yeah? I imagine we see Aang trying to learn water bending from Katara, and I'm pretty sure he's learning fire bending from Zuko
Yeah.
and earth bending from Bumi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True. I think yeah, these would be the characters. I think Zuko would be the one to somehow teach him great firebending skills.
Yeah,
They're gonna eventually turn into great friends.
yes. And
Um,
then while learning all those skills, we learn a little bit more about his history, flashbacks, while
yeah.
he's doing
Do
some
we know
earth
like
bending.
an
They
Avatar?
might have a chance to bring in a flashback what happened with
Hmm.
when he was back in the town in Umashu and his friend Bumi, and when he's
Yep.
doing firebending he learns something about when they first encountered firebenders when he was still a little
True.
kid and stuff like that. So yeah, there's opportunity. They could do something like that in the season too. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's my guess. Okay, let's make predictions. My prediction for the second season is we see Aang learning all those bending skills. Water bending he learns from Katara. Fire bending he will learn finally at last from Zuko, and earth bending because the mission would be to free Bumi.
So you're saying by the time that they rescue Bhumi,
He learned
Zuko
water bending and fire bending.
and you think by that time Zuko and Anga are already friends?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that happens pretty much immediately because Iro and they get together somehow. I don't know. But they are still in the water tribe area, and then they have
Okay.
maybe they meet each other, and then they
I think
tell each
there will
other,
be a
"Hey,
face
don't
off.
bring the Avatar back to Ozai. Ozai is the bad guy here. We have to stop him."
I definitely think there will be a face off between Azula and Zuko in the Earth Nation, Umashu.
Yeah,
You
maybe. Yeah.
know, because she's already there. She's captured him and Ozai. So not Ozai. Sorry, I mean Zuko, a sneaky guy. He likes to sneak in,
Yeah,
and
he knows how to get into the city already.
yeah. And the thing is, like because he's basically follows wherever the Avatar goes. So if the Avatar is going to Umashu, so he will go to Umashu to capture him.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
they have still friends in Omashu. Yeah, I mean, Ahsoka has this engineer guy friend. Where so that's I'm looking
And I
forward
think
to the second season.
Zuko has a lot to confront about as well to his sister, even because now he knows through Zhao, General Zhao, that she's the mastermind behind everything, and even Ozai has put her to the stars. So I think he
Yeah,
has a lot
but
of confrontation to
Oza,
do.
I don't know. I don't know why you call Azula the mastermind. No, she's not. Oza still is the mastermind. He sends Azula to Omashu. It's not her plan. That's all Oza's plan.
I think it's her plan. See, I think Ozai was not even in the picture. It was
Mhm.
General Zhao and Azula who were talking
Yeah,
behind the
yeah,
back of even Ozai.
of course. But the plot here was to capture the Avatar.
Yeah, I mean, see, I mean, by that time, Azula somehow has convinced Ozai that she can play mind games. She can be, very beneficial in the battle itself. So I guess then the plan was made together by Azula and Ozai together to how to do
Yeah,
it properly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oza then saw the potential of Azula and then decided, yeah,
yeah,
okay, I give her more responsibilities. I let her invade Omashu.
yeah,
But it's all Ozai's plan, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, we will see. Do we have any information about when the second season will drop on Netflix?
I think sometime next year. I don't think it's gonna come out this year.
Uh,
Sometime
so
next year, I think. But I'm
unfortunately,
okay.
we still
I
have to
mean,
wait.
I like this, so I would like to watch the second season, but it's not one of those shows that I'm eagerly waiting for. But we'll see. I'll watch it when it comes out, and we'll review
Yeah,
it. Right?
yeah. I'm not sitting on the edge of my seat to wait for this next season.
Yep.
It's not Cobra
It's not one of
Kai.
those shows. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cobra Kai. I want the season six.
Cobra Kai.
Ah.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, there
And
are so many
boys,
interesting shows coming
boys,
in.
boys. Season 4 is coming in June. Only
Yes,
1
yes,
month to
yes.
go.
True, true. I mean, that's going to be exciting.
Oh
That
yeah,
we should review right away.
right away.
Yeah, because right now we are messing up a lot because we
Yeah.
don't
So if you
remember
don't know
much.
what Avatar: The Last Airbender is actually, it's a show on Netflix. Yeah, it's old. It's month old.
Yeah, we're just late.
Well, okay. Yeah, it was great. Loved it. Loved the reviews with you. It was fun.
Yep,
Looking
yep.
forward to season 2.
Season 2, and I would say we'll see you next time while reviewing other shows or whatever. So up until then,
Whatever
bye
comes
bye.
to our mind and whatever we want to talk about. Okay. See
Yes,
you
yes,
all. Bye
that's true.
bye.
See you. Bye.